Hello there guys, welcome back to the Drowsy Dragon. Today I've got 10 more tips for you for player housing in World of Warcraft. So let's dive straight into it. Now of course we've got endeavours. Now these are the best way to level your house quickly. So of course you want to focus on repeating the high XP tasks. Do remember that there are diminishing returns on these tasks, so they're well worth doing them a few times, maybe once a day. And we've yet to see if these diminishing returns will be across the whole month for the entire endeavour, or if they're going to reset each week. They definitely don't reset each day, but hopefully on weekly reset, we'll see. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of pointless engaging with each task all the time. You still will get the same amount of community coupons to spend on the decor items, and it's just the XP that's going to go down over time. Now, annoyingly, it has been confirmed today by Dev Jesse Curlincheek that housing XP from endeavours is capped at 1,000 per endeavour. Now this apparently isn't per week, and it's also for each house, so your Horde and Alliance houses now have two separate caps. They no longer level up together, apparently, from Endeavour XP. I believe Collection of Decor XP is still going to be 10 per house each time, but yeah, Endeavour XP is capped, which is kind of annoying because they never told us about this. So I suppose the tip here is don't panic about leveling up your house through endeavours. Just do it when you can. Maybe try and get your 1,000 XP, this week in case it does reset weekly, because they've said that they're going to wait and just basically get feedback on this. My blunt feedback right now is that this is crap and it should have been communicated properly. So Blizzard, please just up the cap and communicate your decisions properly next time. Thank you. So the next tip based on this is to complete the endeavours in both your Alliance and your Horde neighbourhoods. So your house XP does seem to be split between those. And there's also quite a lot of coupons available for doing the endeavour on the other side. So you want to get a nice stock of these so you can buy as much of that decor as you want to from the endeavour vendors. So currently I believe there are 5 active endeavours, but you can only of course take part in 2. However, you can visit other people's neighbourhoods that have the 3 other endeavours active in and use your community coupons to buy from their vendor, the endeavour vendor. So how do you hop between neighbourhoods? Now, one option is to use the house finder to check for alternative endeavours in different neighbourhoods. This can work if you get lucky, but remember that you can visit anyone's neighbourhood on your friends list or if the house isn't set to private. So a more reliable way of doing this is to visit the neighbourhoods of friends. So for example, in my guild, we are on the Horde side, but most people in my guild have a public Alliance house as well. So I just basically went through the list of our guildies, Alliance houses, and I found the Mechagon one and the Lone Niffin one. So there's just one more that I need to find, and you can absolutely buy from the Endeavour vendor as well. Now make a note here that you do find out who is in which neighbourhood, and remember to go back towards the end of the Endeavour, because hopefully that neighbourhood will have leveled that endeavour up, and so you'll be able to buy all the extra items from the vendor which require the progress, if they've completed it, that is. Okay, here's some collecting tips for you to help with your general collecting overall, but also for some of the endeavour tasks. Now, first of all, the lumber axe has changed. So you know how you used to basically click it in your bags to toggle on or off the tracking of lumber on the minimap? Well, what you need to do now is just basically click the axe once. That will then teach you the ability to track lumber. So the axe will vanish from your bags, but if you have gone and put the axe in your bank, for example, go and get the axe out, click it, learn the ability to track lumber, and just make sure that you toggle it on as well. So if you haven't been seeing lumber on the map, this is why. For the next tip, I want to bring your attention to the add-on Housing Decor Crafting Guide by Vermoose. Now this add-on is very nice for tracking what decor you can craft across all of your characters, seeing what recipes you can learn, and if you have the skill level to actually learn them in the first place. It even shows you which vendors you can go to learn the decor recipes. Now the best thing about this add-on for me is it's the easiest way to keep track of which alts have which professions, and exactly what the skill levels are for those professions. So it saves you a lot of time logging in to check things all the time, and also it saves you from making a spreadsheet in real life. It also has a tracker for your materials, including lumber, and it gives you extra information when you're out collecting lumber, such as the total earned in the session, and it's even got the little map here so that you can see nearby lumber that you previously collected. So it functions a little bit like Farm HUD, if you've ever used that before. It is a new add-on, so it is receiving updates all the time, and it's pretty great, so I highly recommend. Now, if your endeavour has the task in it to go and collect leather or herbs or mining ores, I found a super speedy way to do this. So our endeavour this month was the ethereals, meaning that we had to collect these things from Outland. So my druid was a herbalist and I only had low level skill in classic and Outland herbalism. So when you are low level of a skill, rather than looting actual herbs from the nodes, you get stalks sometimes and basically parts of a plant. But because it's only parts, you get quite a lot of them. So for some nodes, for one node, I was able to get about 7 or 8 progress towards this. And I believe it's 100 that you've got to collect, or 75. So in a simple case of collecting about 8 or 9 herbs, I was able to complete this task really quickly. So this is one of those weird situations where it actually pays to have an alt, for example, ideally a druid with low level gathering skill so that you get more resources for each individual node. This will likely also work as well if, for example, you have low level skinning, so you might get more scraps from the mobs that you skin. But if you want to get this task done quickly, I'd highly recommend low level herbalism. And I think fishing would definitely be the slowest way to get this done, but it's nice if you don't want to actually go anywhere. And now we've got a few quick fire tips, so remember to go back and check the vendor that sells plants and trees in each neighbourhood. So either the one in the town centre and check the smugglers, because they do have an updated inventory. Now they have the clusters, which are some really nice plant and tree clusters. There's lots of different styles on there, so do make sure you go through the entire inventory of that vendor. But these are very nice for saving lots of space and giving you some basically pre-made clusters of vegetation. So they're very nice for filling in spaces and making, nice floral areas. And they cost 5 decor budget placement each. The next tip also relates to the decor vendors. Very simple, you can now shift and click on the vendor items to buy multiple items at a time. So this is very handy when you're buying lots of decor. For example, you want to buy 60 planks. You don't need to spam click 60 times. You can just right click, move the number up and buy them all in one go. A general tip for any endeavour activities, do try to make sure that you're doing these in a group of 3 or more people from the same neighbourhood. Now this will give you more endeavour progress. As you've probably gathered by now, that bar does take quite some work to get it up. So I'm not sure exactly what the bonus is for doing things as a group, but it does clearly state this on the housing menu. Again, Blizzard, it would be nice to just give us the goddamn information. What's the harm in doing so? But anyway, at least we know there's a bonus, so group up where you can. And lastly, it's a tip for the jump puzzles. So with the ethereal endeavours, you do have the jump puzzles in the neighbourhoods. There's one for both Alliance and Horde. But what you'll notice when you're doing these is there is a little thing you can click that drops a rope, basically, which functions effectively like a skip. So you definitely will fall off the first few times that you do these jump puzzles, because to be honest, they're quite hard, and they're pretty good actually. So if you group up with somebody, ideally a few people, but even if it's just one person, it's a big benefit, because if your friend, say, gets ahead, they can at least put the skip down, and then if you fall off after them, you can both go back and use a skip. So you can kind of leapfrog each other as well, and make use of each other's progress. And if you're still earning XP, remember to do this one each day. It will give you slightly less as time goes by, but it's a good chunk of XP for an endeavour task. So there we go guys, 10 more tips for player housing in World of Warcraft. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content and guides from me, the Drowsy Dragon. Do feel free to support the channel if you wish by becoming a channel member here on YouTube, or we've also got the Patreon which you can access if you wish to do so. Do let us know if you have any questions or further tips. If there's anything I've missed, let us know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching guys, I've been the Drowsy Dragon and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!